Hello again. In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can actually produce an engineering drawing of our dragster body design. In this drawing, as you can see on the screen here, we're doing a little preview for you. There are three views that we need to show. We'll show our front view, our top, and our right side. And also on the engineering drawing, we tend to show some of the main dimensions that we need to produce this object. When you look at mine and you look at the one that we're going to produce in a few minutes, we're not including every single dimension because we want to speed you up a little bit, but we show some of the basics here, and we're going to walk you through the process of putting this together. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can begin this. First of all, in Edmodo, I've provided you with the EJMS standard drawing file for 2014. It's in your Dragster folder. You can open that up and then save that basic sheet into your H drive. It looks like this. When you get started with this, you'll notice across the bottom you have a title block, and the information basically is blank in this at this time. So we want to fill in the title block first thing. To do that, we're going to come over into our browser, and in the browser you can see up here you've got an entry for EJMS standard title block. You want to click the plus sign in front of that, and you should see field text. We're going to right click on field text and choose to edit field text. That process will give us an entry box where we can actually enter the text that we need to show up for each one of these items. So we'll show you how we go about doing this. First of all, for the drawing title, we're going to click in there and type in Dragster body design would be a good title for it. And I usually come down with my down arrow key, typing in there the name. I want to be sure and capitalize, spell correctly, spell out the name of the month, got messed up there, didn't I? So let's back up and fix that again. Mouse wants to click out in different places. Okay, down arrow. Class, I'm just going to put for class A in here, and then the drawing scale on this, unless I tell you differently, is going to be 1:1, which is full size. So if we blow that up, you can see the 5 pieces of information that we've entered into the field text areas of the title block. When you've got all that correct, capitalization, spelling, everything good, you can click OK, and then if you notice, that information is now placed in your title block, which is pretty easy for you. The next thing we want to do is come in and actually place our views onto the sheet. Now this begins on our ribbon with the base command. The base generally is going to be the front view of the object. We have to go through and locate it. Right here, this little file folder with the magnifying glass on it is a search tool. So if we select that, we can navigate to whatever folder or whatever location we've saved our file in. Now, I've already got mine preset here. You should navigate to your H drive where you've saved your Dragster. There's the one that I'm going to use. I'll select that and open. And then you can see there it's already trying to place that view onto my sheet. Now before I go and do this, I want to double check a couple of things in this drawing view window. I want to be sure the scale says 1:1. It does. I want to be sure it's saying view 1. And I also want to be sure that front is selected up here. So everything's in good shape, so I can say OK. Now, you'll notice there that it placed my front view kind of in a funny location. Don't get too worried about that right now. It'll be fine. And I'm coming over, I'm projecting across my right side view, which I'm going to have kind of close to the right borderline on the page. Select that one, and then come up this way for my top view. Kind of in here should be good. And then this is a pretty important step. Just kind of move out in the white area somewhere, right click and say create. And Inventor will build your other views. Now, since I've got these located kind of in some funny spots, watch as I move back onto the front view. If you'll notice, there's a little red dotted box around that front view. That means that view is being selected, and what I can do is actually click on that box, and if I hold my mouse I can drag that view where I want it to go on the sheet. And if you'll notice, the right side and the top views are following it. They should do that. The view should always stay lined up. Let me grab this top view and bring it down a little bit on the page. I want this looking very balanced on the page. Move that one over a little bit, and that is in pretty fair shape. We could actually leave those three views right there, and it looks pretty good. The last step in the process is actually add some of our dimensions and some symbols that go with the dimensions. So let's walk through that process there. On our ribbon, we want to switch to the Annotate tab. Should be the second tab up there. Annotate means to add notes. So we're going to choose that one. First tool that I want to pick up, right here, one that looks like a plus sign with some straight lines coming out of it up there, is the center mark tool. This one right here. So I'm going to select that, and then on each one of these circles, I'm going to click once right in the center. It's going to put a center mark on there. Always show where the center of the circle is. It's very critical. So every one of those gets center marks. All right, and I'll right click and say OK. Now I'm going to include some dimensions. So I'm going to dimension. One of the first dimensions I want to add is from end to end of the top view. I'm going to pull this dimension down until the little dimension line kind of dots out. That's a good spot for it right there. Click OK, and I've included that dimension. I want to click from here to that edge, which will give me my thickness of my dragster. And then here on the right side from bottom to top is a good one right there to get my height. And almost finished there. At this point I kind of want to zoom in a little bit because I want to work on these circles down here. On a circle, to give the diameter, I want to click right on the edge of the circle, and then I can pull that diameter out and drop it. I'll do that on each one of these circles. So I always need to know the diameter so that I can choose the proper drill bit to use for producing these in my object. This one actually works well to bring it down this way, so I don't have to go so far across my object there. And then one more over here, and I'm going to bring it up this way and kind of drop it at about that point. Once I've put diameters on all the circles, and I've included the overall length, overall thickness, and overall height, then this particular engineering drawing is in good enough shape for us to save. We'll then print it, and we will send it one copy in for grading. So let's take a look at the printing process really quickly. Under the application menu, we'll choose to print. I should really have saved this first. Always save first, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the process. We'll print. We need to be sure that the printer we select and use is this one. The one that says HP LaserJet 400 M401 PCL6. That is our network printer in the lab. We want to select that one. from the list of possible printers. We want to be sure to select number of copies, 2. And then we could say, OK, if we've gotten permission from Mr. Settles to go ahead and print that. One of these copies will be turned in for grading. One copy will be yours to use as your pattern for producing your dragster in the lab. So that goes through the entire process of producing an engineering drawing from your dragster body design. It shows you how to produce your views, put dimensions in place, and then get it printed. Hope this video is helpful, and I hope you refer to it and be sure you follow the steps to get yours in good shape. Just be sure you don't print until your teacher has checked it and you have permission to go ahead and send it to the printer. Thanks a lot.